to the Leading Executive, the preferred leadership development, leadership training, and soft skills learning management platform for various organizations. At the Leading Executive, we believe in elevating your leaders' skills with experiential learning. Our platform offers a wide range of leadership training and soft skills courses that are designed to help your leaders unlock their full potential. Whether you're an individual looking to enhance your leadership skills or an organization looking to develop your team, the Leading Executive has got you covered. Our courses are designed to be engaging, interactive, and practical, ensuring that your leaders not only learn the skills, but also apply them in real-life situations. Our motto is unlock your leaders' full potential. We believe that every leader has the potential to be great, and our platform is designed to help them get there. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today and start unlocking your leaders' full potential with the Leading Executive. The Leading Executive, elevate your leader skills with experiential learning. Hello and welcome to energizeHER podcast. I'm your host, Tameka Chapman. And this month we are continuing our conversation about mental wellness for Black women. Yes, mental wellness for Black women. We're in the month of Black History. We are in Black History Month, and it's all about having conversations that's going to help Black women, women of color, specifically Black women, learn to love the life they live with our conversations that we're doing here. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my guest. I have Alicia, Sylve, the CEO of Cantrell Consulting and Co. And we also have Miss Stacey Livingston, LPC Associate. I'm so honored to have you ladies here with me as we continue our conversation here in the month of February for Black History Month. So tonight's conversation, I want to talk about unveiling mental health stigmas for Black women. Mm-hmm. Like, how do we not only unveil them, but then address them so that we can begin to heal from the crap that has impacted our mental health, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is, let's just talk about mental health support. How do, what are some things, okay, let's just talk about the stigma first. The stigma of judgment because I need to seek out a counselor. The stigma of they're going to call me crazy if I go to see a mental health counselor. Like, let's talk about that because that is just real deal nonsense. I really believe that when you seek out help, that shows your strength. That shows you are very powerful because you believe that you should be better or you should be feeling better, or there's some things that's happening that you don't understand. So let me speak to somebody who can help me, put words to this and put some action towards feeling better with who I am. So Stacey, if you don't mind, let's address, how do we address these stigmas and, show support for Black women actually seeking out mental health therapy?
So I think when we first want to talk about hitting it, addressing it, we have to talk about how it comes from, we've been conditioned not to trust. So there's so much distrust. Go back and think about distrust in healthcare, not trusting your doctors. It goes way back to the Tuskegee study. Like, look what they did to them folks.
Right.
So as Black people, our grandparents, parents, don't you trust them? Don't you trust them people? We got to be strong. We can't be, what I mean? It was beat into us literally from the slave masters. You got to be strong, right? So we have all those generations and generations of trauma. Again, trauma. Here we go. Trauma. Right. And with trauma, what? You're taught not to trust. You don't want to trust. You become hardened, And so we have to break down those barriers. There's so many barriers, right? With Black women, it's child, and same thing with Black men too. But women in general, I don't want to see that counseling. This is what I was told. Counseling's for white people. Therapy is for white people. White people don't go to therapy. Black people don't do that. We just push it to the back of our minds. We may act crazy every now and again, but we just push it away. You know, and you wonder why they want to put all the diabetes, the sugars, and the blood pressures, and the high blood, all of these things on us. Why are we always genetically predisposed for all of these things, right? Because we've had bricks and bricks and bricks and generations on our back. On our back. As Black women, we are, and I'm sorry, I'm passionate about this subject, honey. But as Black women, we are the most unsupported.
Right.
We're unsupported. Nobody supports us. You know what I mean? We are built to take it, to take the load, take everybody's crap, and deal with it. And so, can you imagine being brought up that way and not having support? You don't have any support, so you don't trust anybody. Right. You know, when it comes to trying to dispel that myth, and I want to read, there's some statistic here. It says statistics here. 80% of the psychology workforce is white. Okay. There's not many of us. Okay. There's not many Black therapists. I mean, we've got therapy for Black women and therapy for Black men now. I'm so grateful. We are getting there, but we're not there. And it's very hard because still, even in the Black community, when we do have these mental health practitioners, we don't really have a lot of Black clients. Because we scared to go. So it's like, how do you get out there in the community to show that it's okay? We got to talk about it. Like doing things like this, talk about it. If people feel safe to say, you know what, I'm tired, child. I'm tired. I don't feel good. I've been feeling like I want to hurt myself. I've been feeling like I want to do, you understand what I'm saying, or hurt somebody else. It's okay to talk about those things. I can't do it on my own anymore. Being vulnerable. We have to, we gotta teach people it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay. But it's like, when you go into how do you go into the communities and get these folks to trust you, child, when we got generations and generations of mistrust? So there's work that needs to be done. I feel like it can be done, but like I said, with these, you're wonderful. The energizeHER and what you got going on, Alicia. This is what we have to do to make it's awareness. It's all about awareness.
I was going to say that it's about the awareness piece, and like we mentioned in our past conversations about them finding someone that they can relate to. And I think that's been the biggest thing that's hindered a lot of Black women from seeking out mental health support, because they didn't see someone that looked like them. They may have gone to it, reluctantly, that let me try it. And then when it's just like, okay, she don't even understand what I'm talking about, so I'm not going back, right? Well, she was talking down to me about how I felt. I'm not going back, because they don't understand, one, the culture, or two, the things that we've been taught along the way from generation to generation to generation that's now here upon us. And now we have to decipher it in a way that makes sense for us to keep going, or a way for us to live, right? But with that, that's on the personal side. Let's talk about that on the workplace side, because now we have all of our trauma, we have all of our disappointments, all of our fears, and all of our anxiety and frustrations outside of the workplace. But we got to go to work, okay? Go to work.
Every day,
right? So, we talked about this earlier as well, of, what things that can happen if you don't address it, like the burnout, the explosions, and being labeled as the angry Black woman and all. But how do we help them? Like, outside of, we are having these conversations, and these conversations are vital, they're crucial, and they help to bring more awareness to Black women seeking out mental wellness and mental health support. But what do you think some organizations can do outside of, the DEI that we spoke about earlier? What are some things that you think organizations can do? And I'm going to tell you something that I thought about a while back. But I want to hear from you. What do you think organizations can do to help dispel the myth of, going to mental health department? Because they have the benefits there. The benefits are there now.
EAP.
They're doing better. Still, we're not using those benefits. We're not using them for whatever that fear is that we're going to be labeled a certain kind of way. So is there anything that you think that, organizations can do? Maybe reaching out and partnering with, a mental health organization to come in and do continuous training, continuous seminars, continual mental health fairs. What are your thoughts on that?
I think you just said it, when it comes to organizations, they have to be more active and proactive, creating awareness and constantly creating awareness, and also creating a supportive environment. Okay. Because if you don't make your, employees feel safe, then the first thing we do is what? We shut down and we shut up.
Right.
We're not gonna want to go to, I ain't going to that. They ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing that. So you gotta, put what they say, put the pen to the paper, and you actually have to do it. You have to do some, there has to be some, what am I trying to say? Some action to it. We just can't talk about it. Like we have to put some action to it, and we have to create an environment of awareness and support, and it has to be consistently.
Right.
It can't be just for Black History Month.
Right.
Okay. Mental health month. No, it needs to be all the time. This is okay. This environment is okay. We're here to support you. We're here to support you. What happens when we feel safe and supported?
We open up and talk.
Come on.
Exactly. I love that. Alicia, I want to hit on something with you. So I know that you have worked in the school system, and you have been around young girls. Even with your nonprofit, you serve young girls in life skills and helping them to be aware of themselves. We do know that a lot of trauma and a lot of the things that we deal with as adults stem from the things that we've gone through in our childhood, more than likely, right? Because it didn't just start when we got old. It's the mindset and the things that have happened, or how we believe things are to be, really, it started when we were kids. So I will ask you a question. With the school system, is there something that you feel the school system, or is there something that the school system should do or could do to help the young Black girls within the school district to be better, well prepared with their mental health and mental wellness?
I would say just having someone on staff just to have the conversations, because a lot of schools, they don't want to miss the mark of the boundary and say we can do this, and they can't really do this, or they can't talk about this with the kids. They have to have the parents' permission, and that sort of thing. But I think just having the conversation, and I know with my girls, we would have conversations. Of course, I let their moms know, the conversations that we were having. And I'm not coming to these young ladies, talking about sex or anything, but I'm talking about life skills. I'm talking about self-confidence, stuff that's going to actually get them right. And, showing them different things, like showing them, you're here right now, but if you go a little further, you can be here. Helping them set those goals for life. Those type of things. And y'all hit on mental. I work for a behavioral center, and my job as a liaison was to basically go out and get these mamas prepared, help them fill out the paperwork. But my main job was to help ensure or make them comfortable enough to want to sign up. And I encountered a lot of Black moms, a lot of Black kids who had behavior issues, had, mental issues. And then some of the kids, they were just quote unquote bad. Okay. They just needed a belt. job was to just help these moms be confident enough to open up and let someone know what was going on inside the home, because they're like, well, I don't want anybody in my business. Okay, well, this person can help you. And then I have a heart, right? So I would always try to go in and be the fixer, but I learned a long time ago I can't be the fixer. I can't be the fixer. I can only fix things or try to fix things that I have control of for my own life. I can help guide and lead you, give you a word to help you get there, but I can't fix it for you. You have to go through for yourself. So just making them comfortable enough to open up to me. And then the next big step after that, after they've opened up to me, well, am I going to be able to keep you? No, I don't do this. I just come out and help, ease the transition. But I would go back from time to time and check on them and things of that sort. They always had my number. They were always called. But yeah, just having that conversation. Yeah. Because it's needed.
Yeah. I love that. I believe that everything starts with a conversation. Every good thing, every change, every thought just starts with a conversation. Because if you're open to conversating and you never know what the other person is thinking, you can come together and create something from that conversation that can then become a program. It can become a movement. It can become a platform or a community that allows people to come in and feel comfortable. Allow people to come in and feel comfortable to open up and talk.
Yeah, like you said, not just once, one time we done with it. Keep it going.
Continuous,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I love it. So we're in Black History Month, and it's all about Black people, okay? So what I want to ask this question of how can we, as a Black people, as cultural, as our culture, how can we collectively work towards destigmatizing mental health conversations, right? How can we work on that together? Because yes, it's one thing to have these groups at work. It's one thing to talk about it with your girlfriend. Girl, listen, I'm tired. Listen, they got one more time, okay? But how can we collectively work towards destigmatizing the mental health conversations? Because Alicia, you said, I don't want nobody in my business. That's what they would say. I don't want nobody in my business. And that's the Black culture, right? That's how we were raised to say, you don't be putting everybody in your business. Don't tell everybody outside the house what's going on. So how do we start those conversations, and how do we help the conversations continue to happen past Black History Month or past, Mental Health Awareness Month? Stacey?
I think we have to be more vocal about it, right? We have to continue to be more vocal about it and not allow that stigma, the shame, the embarrassment, or to keep our mouths shut. We have to be vocal about it, and we also have to create again. We got to learn how to create an environment of trust again, right? We got to let go of pride, because we can be prideful. We got to let go of pride. Oh, child, I'm bet because a lot of times too, where we as Black folks, if we're on a certain level educationally or this and that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People don't want to come to, oh, she thinks she's too good, and we probably do. And we're wearing that on our aura, right? As we're dealing with people. No, we got to get down in the trenches and down in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? And let go of pride. Look, I ain't perfect. Let me tell you, I may not have been through what you've been through, but I didn't been through.
Come on.
Getting real.
Yeah.
Okay. Being real and consistent. Again, it just can't happen for this month, next month. It's got to happen from here to the end of time.
Yeah.
I love that. In that conversation I was watching earlier today, Mike Todd was talking about pride and how pride will get in the way of your proximity.
Yes.
So your proximity to help, your proximity to support, your proximity to overcoming If you have your pride in a way, it's going to block every chance that comes your way that you could potentially get the help to overcome, the things that you're going through to be in a better place. So I totally agree with you to, lay down that pride, lay down the pride of
Yeah.
somebody's going to say something or somebody going to
Yeah.
kind of wait, like, let them feel how they feel. Who cares? That's how
Right.
I mean, we all have the right to feel. Like that's our right. We are emotional. We are people.
Right.
So we can feel
Right.
however we want to feel, but you shouldn't allow
Mm-hmm.
somebody else's feelings nor their opinions to
Right.
stop you from getting the help that you need,
Yes.
especially when you know
Right.
you're not well. Like
Absolutely.
if you're having those thoughts of I want to hurt myself, or a thought of I want to hurt somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mm-hmm.
a thought of what would life be like if I wasn't here, like those are
Mm-hmm.
real thoughts, those are
Mm-hmm.
real situations that you should be
Mm-hmm.
seeking out somebody to talk
Yes.
that with. Go ahead,
Right.
Alicia.
Earlier today, I was watching TV. It was news.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what location, but this young man, his parents had just bought him a gun,
Mm,
and the next day he takes it to school and he
wow.
kills four of his classmates.
Mm-hmm.
But in the process, he texts one of his friends and say, "At this point, I'm begging to go see a doctor," and my mom laughs.
Wow.
Right. So
Wow.
they're going through, the of course the parents have been arrested and
Right.
that, but as needed, as
Yeah.
Right.
um, you
Right.
know, um, it's just sad. He was begging for help in his
Yep.
own way.
Yep. Scream it out.
Mom thought it was funny,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
because she in her head she may have quote unquote been thinking, well, that's not something that we do. But at the end of the day, he wasn't even black; he was white.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People are begging for help. They want help, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times they go off the rockers because they don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
get that help.
They don't know how to do
I just thought that right there, I'm like, that mama need to be beat.
it. That too.
I mean, who buys?
Yes, but who buys a gun for a young
An
kid?
underage kid.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
And
not
you know that boy
responsible.
probably been child. They knew that boy was a little cuckoo.
right.
As a parent,
And the
But
dad says he calls the school. He says, "Oh my God, I think my son has brought the gun to school. I'm not for sure. I just know it's missing."
Wow.
so you want to play dumb?
And
Mm-hmm.
they go
Wow.
to school, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't even check him out to take him home. They leave him at school. And
Wow.
they said 13 minutes later, he killed
Wow.
his flatmates. Yep.
Wow. Wow. That's very, very sad, very disheartening,
Mm-hmm.
that kids are screaming for help.
Yeah.
Uh, and instead of you actually paying attention and saying, okay, well, let's just see, let me just
Right.
make sure. Like we've seen so many incidents from years ago,
Mhm.
not just now, of, school shootings,
Mm-hmm.
and children's lives being taken unfairly. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
And
hate to hear that. I hate to hear that.
yeah.
But I think the lesson to take from that is, parents, listen to your
Mhm.
kids,
Mm-hmm.
hear them, let them
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are, and I always tell my husband, I said, our kids are 5 and 6, but at the end of the day, they're people, and they
Mhm.
are
Mm-hmm.
they are full of emotions. And
Mm-hmm.
if we don't allow them to talk and get those feelings out and to tell
Mm-hmm.
us how they're feeling, what's going to end up happening is one of them going to blow up. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to
Mm-hmm.
explode. I don't want the explosion to come my way because I'm
Mm-hmm.
exploding with you. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
but seriously, we should allow our children to talk to us, not talk back to us, but talk to us, and
Yes.
allow them to tell us how they're feeling at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And, just before we wrap up this segment here, I will say when I was 13, I went through a traumatic incident, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember telling my daddy at that time, I said, because I felt crazy. Okay. I felt like, okay, why are these thoughts in my head? Like, why am I feeling this
Mm-hmm.
way? Like,
What's
I
happening?
felt anxious. I felt
Mm-hmm.
heaviness on my chest, and I felt like some days I couldn't breathe. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, I think I need to talk to somebody. He said, what? I said, I need to talk to a therapist. I need to talk to somebody. Like, I have these thoughts, and I don't know how to think. I don't know why I'm feeling the way that I feel. And his words to me were, I'm your therapist. You talk to me. Okay, well, I'm not talking to you, sir. Like you part of the reason why I feel the way I feel, sir. Okay, so no, I will not be talking to you. I'll just hold this in, and that actually,
There
I
you
believe,
go.
is what started my whole cycle of I don't talk about it. I wrap my little problems up and I put it in the back of my mind and just leave them alone. So I became the queen of avoidance. I would
It's
never.
conditioning. You're conditioned.
Yes, yes, and so
Mhm.
I will say parents, for your kids, just hear what they got to say, have a conversation with them, check in with the kids every single day. They're human. You should be talking to your kids every single day, not every once in a mood. Talk to them, check in with them, see how their day has gone. Like they're in school, you don't know the things that they've gone through at school if you don't ask. No, if the teachers aren't calling you and telling you what's going on, nobody, you don't see anything on the news that's happening, God forbid. Talk to your kids.
Right.
Talk to your kids. Let them tell you how their day has gone.
Yeah.
And so, what I want to do right now is I want to hop into, as Black women, thinking about how our mental health and wellness impact our self care, our how it juggles, I should say, because I don't know about y'all. Do y'all believe in balance and work life balance?
Most definitely.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, off.
I'm gonna say
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have never figured out work-life balance. I've never figured it out. So I always call it juggling. And for me, the juggling worked better for me than trying to find a balance in between it because again, I just told y'all my crazy hours at work.
Mhm.
I wasn't able to be home. I got babies at that time. I wasn't able to
Mhm.
be home. with babies. So I had to learn how to juggle my life. So
Mhm.
and for me, that juggling is kind of like how you have the juggler. He got those three pins. Whatever's in the air is what he's paying attention to. And then when it comes down, he can catch it and move the next one up. So I was only paying attention to whatever pin was in the air at that time in my life. But how do we balance, work life, family life, personal life, self care with all of that with our mental wellness? Stacey, what are your thoughts on that?
You said something, and when you were talking about juggling and you were talking about balance, think about, like you said, juggling. You were in a reactive state,
Right.
reacting, juggling. So much anxiety and stress associated with that, right? And then when you think about balance, you think about calm, you think about equilibrium, right? So we gotta try to move from juggling, and that's how we as Black women always do. We got
Hmm.
so many hats, married or not.
Right.
My mom was married the whole time. I was raised by my mom and my stepdad, but I will tell you, it wasn't a difference with her being, you know what I'm saying? She still had to juggle things.
Hmm.
So I what me being a single mom, and raising my kids single, it was I was juggling all the time, reactive. Then I got to the point to where, okay, we need some balance here, right? And so I began to, and it didn't take until literally I got into school for therapy. I'll never forget. One of my professors told me, he said, if this thing don't change you, then you're not meant to be a therapist.
Mm.
Honey, it
Wow.
changed me first semester. Okay. First semester, it totally changed me. It changed me as a mother. My kids, oh, mom, we like you. This the new state. This the new mama. We like you so understanding. You're not angry. You're so calm. I had to realize that, wow, I cannot allow what I have been conditioned to kill me.
Hmm.
Like you said, you were when your dad said, when you went to your dad to say, I think I need help, you were crying out. And
Right.
when he said, out of his pride, because that's, you
Yes.
don't talk to me. First thing you did was shut down. I'm done.
Right.
So
Yep.
at that point, you learned to condition yourself to hold it all in and to take it all and try to
Right.
and have to figure it out in a reactive way, which is
Right.
unhealthy. And
Right.
so it takes awareness, like we talked about, being aware of what you're doing and how you're handling situations, and understanding that, okay, there's got to be some change. How can I do this to better, for the betterment of myself?
Mm-hmm.
How can I do this? How can I do this to love myself?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To teach me to love myself, to
Mm-hmm.
teach me to take off, to teach me to trust the process.
Right.
You know, that's what happened to me. Like I'm telling you, honey, I'm telling you. And another thing too, I am about me. YOLO. YOLO. Okay. I'm a spend on myself. I remember my mom used to tell me, she said, grandmother used to tell me all the time, you work so hard every time you get a paycheck. Make sure you do this, make sure you do something for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So there are things that I do for myself, self-care. Every 2 weeks, I maintenance, honey. I don't need y'all. Let me tell you something. I don't even go nowhere. I'm not dating. I sit in the house, but baby, these lashes gonna be done.
Come on.
These nails gonna be done. This hair gonna be laid.
Yeah.
Just sit in this house with my dogs. Okay. Now, you know, if the Lord see fit for me to go on, you know what I'm saying, then it's gonna happen. But I do those things because it may not mean a lot to some people, but it means a lot to me. Yeah. It makes me feel good. Mm-hmm. Another thing I work out a lot. So I've been with my gym for 12 years because that helps my emotions. Mm-hmm. You know, when you work out, you release serotonin and you reduce cortisol. The stress hormone. And so that working out helps me. And then, you know, just little things, whatever you like to do. I get massages also. You know, I want to zen out. I'm turning my phone off. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear nobody. I just need to be into me.
Yeah.
You got to get selfish.
Yeah. I love that. I had to learn the hard way that it's okay to be selfish. Because, you know, we were taught not to be selfish. As you know, a sibling. I had 3 other siblings, and I was taught that I should be looking out for my siblings.
Yes, they looking up to you. Yeah,
yes, I had to be the sister, and always look out. You're not supposed to be selfish. You're supposed to share. Yeah, that's how we were raised. You're supposed to look out for your siblings, right? And so we weren't raised to understand it's okay to be selfish. And I remember it was during my journey of trying to have children, trying to get pregnant. I had my aunt. I was talking to her one day, and she says, "Listen, I want you to start taking time for yourself now, so you can condition yourself so that when your kids get here, you already have this schedule of this is your me time." Right. Right. So I was real good at it. Listen, I was real good before I had kids. I was like, oh, me time? I got that down pat. I was getting the hair done every Friday. I was going to get the nails and the toes done. Like, it was good. And once the kids got here, I was just like, oh my God, my baby's here after 18 years. I don't want to leave my baby. I'm just saying, right? So all that me time went out the window. But I will say that me getting back to just my quiet time every once in a while, and still every day, I try to get 30 minutes, like locked in the closet or down in the basement or in another room away from my children, just to have peace in my head. Because again, they make noise; they're kids. I can't tell them, okay, y'all can't make sound. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think that wellness side for me of self-care comes in the form of, let me just find some peace and quiet time for me. The time that I can just talk to God, I can write, I can journal, I can read a book or listen to some music and not hear anything and anybody. And then of course, talking. I love to laugh. Not talk. I like to laugh. Alicia, she and I, we can laugh about anything every single day. Just so silly. The laughter is really good for the soul, I believe. So thank you for sharing that. But I will ask you, you actually just hit on the next question, because I was going to ask about if there are any self-care rituals. I don't like to use the word ritual, but practices. If there's any self-care practices that you could mention. And I love all of the things that you do for your own self-care. Is there something particular that you do in your practices for self-care as a new mom?
Yeah.
I love spending time with my baby. This Christmas, which was his first Christmas, I requested nothing but noise makers, because it get quiet around here. Noise. When he's not making noise, I love reading. I go to the nail shop. I don't go as often as I like now, but And you know what I had to learn too? even though I'm a new mom, I've raised my share of kids. I don't feel the mom guilt when I leave with his daddy. Because I'm just like, okay, so yeah, you gonna watch him because I'm going to the nail shop. And you know, he's home 2 weeks out of the month. So we see each other when he's not here over the phone, but it's not physical. So I'm just like, we're gonna use this time to let you get all the time in. I'm going to the nail shop, get my feet rubbed and pedicured and things of that sort. So yeah, reading and spending time with my baby because I love it.
Awesome. And I was gonna add too for you ladies, my kids now, let me say this. My children are grown.
Okay.
They're adults. You ladies are still in the rearing stage. So I didn't even think about, wow, like that's different. That's hard. But you got, like you said, Alicia, don't feel guilty. Still get it in. And like you said, Tameka, even if I got to do 5 minutes and get in the closet or somewhere, wherever, whatever I need to do, it looks different than me, you know, because my kid, I was in that juggling stage when they was little. You know what I mean? And so it's such a blessing now to see now that your children are you're still, like I said, of age, if you're still raising them, and from you to go into that balance stage with them that little. I wish I could have done that with my kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Thank God that they are right. Jesus, thank you. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you think I messed up, you know, but I think that is amazing and a blessing to you ladies to be able to do that while they're, you know, that age.
Right. Like this has been a really good conversation, ladies. I appreciate your honesty, your transparency. As we've talked about juggling, we've talked about, you know, destigmatizing the conversation of mental health, of Black women seeking mental health support, which I think is so vital to us being women, is vital to us, you know, actually moving forward and actually succeeding in life when we are, you know, have that well-rounded balance to our lives, you know, body, mind, spirit, and mental wellness. Okay.
Right.
So listen, what we're gonna do here, we'll be back next week, you all. We're going to be back next week for our final conversation on mental wellness for Black women. I hope that you all have enjoyed tonight's conversation. I've enjoyed these ladies having the conversations with them. And if you all have any questions, make sure y'all reach out. Reach out to the ladies. Their contact is right here in the bottom, so you'll see it down below. Where you can reach out to them via their social or via email, because I'm putting that in there too. So we'll be back. We'll see you all next Sunday, 7 p.m. Stay tuned.